Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for High Velocity Radio.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of High Velocity Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. Today we have with us Eric Seropyan with This Is My South Bay. Welcome, Eric.
Hi, Lee. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us about This Is My South Bay. How you serving folks?
So This Is My South Bay is a digital marketing agency, and we're located in the South Bay part of Los Angeles, which I reside in, I grew up in, I'm passionate about. And we focus on local search engine optimization campaigns for small to mid-sized businesses.
So what's your backstory? How'd you get into this line of work?
Well, back in the day, I used to be a jewelry designer in downtown LA in the jewelry district. And when the economy slowed down in 06, 07, and so on, 08, it was time for us to try to throw our hat into the digital marketing arena. We were mostly selling to jewelry stores across the country and some in Canada. And as those businesses start to close up because of the Great Recession, our customer base was shrinking before our eyes. So we decided to go into selling business to consumer, and that worked out pretty well. And over time, as I was doing this, I started to do some SEO campaigns for friends and family, and then slowly start to do some consulting for people. And at some point, I decided to pivot over and open up my own digital marketing agency.
So now when you were kind of going through the learning curve of how to kind of be good at this and get kind of predictable, reliable results, what are some of the kind of aha moments for you that said, hey, you know what, if you do more of this, you're going to get a better result than doing more of that, even though it seems like a lot of people are doing this other thing?
Yeah, the beauty of what I was doing and what I do now is that I'm running, multi campaigns. So I'm able to see what's going on, in a bigger scale, because SEO is something that, you create content or you do some optimization, let's say in January, and by the time you get some results, it could be February, it could be July. You just don't know when Google's going to pick it up. So it's a slower moving campaign, as opposed to if you're running let's say a Google Ads campaign, or if you run a newspaper or magazine, it's gonna be more immediate. So,
well, before we go any further, let's try to educate our listener that maybe they're not as familiar with SEO or search engine optimization as you are. So this is more about kind of creating content like that lives on your website, rather than, like you said, buying an ad that kind of drives traffic into your website, right?
Correct. So what you're to back up, you go to Google and you type in something that you're looking for, and let's say you're looking for a mechanic, and you type in mechanic, and Google will give you search results based on your location and what it thinks of your website. So usually at the top of the page of the search engine results page, you have the first couple of listings are sponsored. And usually at the bottom of the page, you have the bottom couple that are sponsored. So that middle there's 10 on a page, which are organically listed. It's where Google is introducing the user to the website and saying, I think you two would be good together. And so that part of the page on Google, you can't buy, you can't pay for it. So you either are optimized for it, or you're not. And so that's what we do, is we do search engine optimization so that Google understands where we are, that we have our reviews lined up, with the website is working as it should be working, the pages are tagged correctly, and everything is to a certain expectation of Google, so that we can get that free traffic coming into our client's website.
And it's important to note that Google really wants you to find what you're looking for. So like if you say mechanic in South Bay, they want you to find a reputable mechanic in South Bay. That's what the search engine is built to do. Now, somebody who has a lot of money in South Bay might be able to pay for an ad to show up ahead of you even though you have great content, but an ad can kind of supersede that if they pay enough money, right? So that's why ads are at the top, because they pay to be at the top. But what you're talking about is if you do kind of the work and create really great, compelling content that shows that you're an authority, Google's going to find you and put you and rank you high if you meet the kind of the conditions that Google sets forth on what a good website looks like, feels like, is fast enough, and it has certain qualities.
Exactly. And I never suggest not running, I suggest you should run some Google Ads campaigns depending on your budget. But studies have shown that there's a higher conversion rate for organic because Google is literally pairing you up with the user. And also Google Ads prices have been going up forever. And at some point you want to be able to be ranked organically so that you can get that consistent free traffic coming in from Google to your website.
And then, but there's certain things that Google likes to see on a website behind the scenes that maybe your firm is able to kind of check all the boxes so that you're giving your website the best possible chance to be ranked high.
Exactly. There's no guarantee to be ranked, but there's a checklist of things to do, and we go over that, and it needs to be done in a consistent fashion. One of the things, for example, is reputation management. And so when we have a client that, let's say, they didn't have any Yelp reviews, and suddenly in 1 month they have 200 positive Yelp reviews, and then they don't have any Yelp reviews for the next 2 years, that is not something that Google looks at favorably, even though you have all those Yelp reviews. It's looking for consistency. And the same applies to different exercises like content creation. If you blog, 20 times January 1st and nothing the rest of the year, that's not a good way to do it. Same with link building, same with everything else.
And that's kind of a mistake that some people make, right? They think this is a set it and forget it. I'll do a lot of work once and then I'll be done and I never have to do it again. And that's really not how this works. This is something that you gain more points in Google's eyes if you're kind of consistent and doing this on a regular basis. And plus, I'm sure Google's always tweaking how it ranks things. So that's probably ever changing. So it's hard to do something one time and think it's going to work, a year from now.
Yeah, it's not something, the algorithm is not changing consistently like that, but it is, Google is watching what you're doing. And so when you, let's say, do a blog post and you upload it to your website, that pings Google to say, hey, come check out my site, spider it, index it, and so on. So if you do that all one shot at the beginning of the month or beginning of the year and nothing the rest of the month or year, then Google's not going to visit your site as often as it should. And so you want to consistently keep Google's attention with new content and new things going on your website and with your company on your social media and everything.
So now a word that's bandied about, especially when it comes to SEO or search engine optimization, is keywords. Can you define what keywords are and why that's important to know what my keywords are, what my competitors' keywords are, and how I can kind of rank higher for those keywords?
Absolutely. So when you go to Google and you type in something that you're looking for, let's say, French restaurant near me or French restaurant in the city. So that is a keyword. So it's a keyword phrase, French restaurant. And so we want to be able to figure out which keywords are relevant to our website and then take a look at it and see the competition level for a particular keyword versus the competition level versus the search volume and the relevancy. So we want to make sure the keyword is highly relevant. We want to have the search volume be as high as possible and the competition level be as low as possible so we can have an easier time getting indexed. Over time, we'll go after the more difficult keywords, but in the beginning, if you just go after restaurant, it's not going to work. So you want to go after long tail keywords. So what we do is there are certain applications out there that we use like Ahrefs, Moz, SEMrush, where you can put in the website and it'll give you a list of keywords that website is ranked for, which position they're ranked for, what's the monthly search volume for that keyword, etc. And so first of all, we do that for our clients. And then we ask our clients to give us their top 10 or 20 competitors. And we look to see which keywords the competitors are ranked for. Because it could be that, the client has overlooked a particular keyword that would work great for their company. So as opposed to just brainstorming, which they're welcome to do, we send them a list of their competitors so they could see which keywords their competitors are ranked for. Now, this is important because you need to decide which keywords you're going to go after so you can start to create content and do certain things to get Google's attention for those keywords.
So what are some of the things you can do?
Well, you can do what is called link building. Link building is, let's say, for example, I write an article from my website to yours, and I give you a clickable link from my website pointing to your website. So that creates domain authority for you. Now, if I create a link that lands on a particular page on your website, then that's going to create authority on that service that you have. So if you're a mechanic and let's say your specialty is oil change, and if I create the link and it goes from my website to yours to your oil change page, then that's going to impact that keyword there. Another way is to create blog posts. You can write blog posts on a particular subject. You can do videos on a particular subject and have them all have that keyword phrase in there so that Google will know that keyword is important and relevant to your website. So
now, is your work primarily for kind of those retail establishments in the local market that want to be found locally? Is that where you spend most of your time, or do you have enterprise level companies or franchises? Like, who is your ideal customer?
Well, we have two different kinds of clients. One is, local, hyper local, where they're looking at anywhere from a 5 mile to a 20 mile radius. And then we have clients that are independent, not franchise, independent that are looking to do business either, statewide, nationwide, or worldwide.
So those strategies are totally different though, right?
They're different campaigns, absolutely. So if you're doing, let's say, a particular a geo-targeted kind of a campaign, you could put the keyword and then the city behind it or the suburb behind it, as opposed to, if you're selling e-commerce, if you're selling clothing, you're not gonna put cities behind the keyword. You're gonna go after the keyword phrase itself.
Now, can you share a story of maybe a client you work with and explain what their challenge was and how after working with you, you were able to help them get to a new level?
Well, we had a client where they seemed to be doing all the right things, but they just weren't converting the phone calls. And it's one of the things that we do is we implement a call tracking software to the website so that we can keep track of the campaigns that we're doing and make sure that they're already doing their business. We come in and we don't want to lump the two together because it could be a website that's been in business for 10 years and we don't want to piggyback on them. We want to do our own campaign and have separate numbers. And so we had a situation where when we set up the call tracking and we're doing the campaigns, usually on the weekends and at nighttime, this company was they had a family member that was answering the phone calls. And so it turns out that the family member on weekends especially was not answering the phone calls. And so just by doing that, the business went up a third just on its own. So the thing that I always explain to clients is we need data. We need to make sure that things are happening the way that it should be happening. And it could be that our SEO campaign, sails in the wrong direction for a couple months. We should know that that's happening and be able to address it.
So now, is there any kind of low-hanging fruit that any business owner can do to their website to, maybe help them out a little bit?
Sure. The thing that, if you keep in mind that Google is looking to deliver the best possible user experience. So if we just take a step back before doing any SEO work, we want to make sure that the website is up to the standards of what Google would want to refer a user to that website. So we want to make sure that the website loads quickly, it's mobile friendly, that we don't have any broken links on the website, that the website user journey is a good one, because sometimes you end up lost on a website. You go there and then you're looking for the contact page, but you have to go backspace two pages to find the contact and pop-ups and things like that. It's a lot of times a frustrating experience with some of these sites. And make sure that when you optimize your website, that each page is tagged correctly so that Google can understand what the page is about. So when you tag the page, make sure that it's clear that if it's an e-commerce site, you don't want to have the stock number of the item. You want to have the description of the item. When you upload pictures, make sure that you tag the pages, the pictures on the page correctly. Because a lot of people, they just upload the picture and they assume, hey, it's a picture of a jacket or a waterfall that Google should know. And generally it doesn't know. So it can't read pictures. And you miss the golden opportunity to mention the keyword again. So make sure that the website is, quote unquote, optimizable. So if you keep in mind that, when we go to Google and we type in what we're searching for, and we have the search engine results page that comes up with the results, we click on one of those links and we go to that website and we have a bad experience with that website. We don't even remember the website. We remember that Google sent us there. And so we have a bad experience with Google, and that's what we're left with. And Google knows that. So that's why Google is strict on who they're going to rank and possibly, send over to that website.
So if somebody wants to learn more about your firm or get help optimizing their website, what's the website for you?
The website is thisismysouthbay.com. And they can go there. They can book a 15-minute free consultation. I'll go over any questions that they have on SEO, if they have any strategy ideas, if they want to run some reports on competitors and so on. At the bottom of the page, if they put in their email address and the website that they own, we'll send them a free report on where their website is ranked at this moment.
Good stuff. Well, Eric, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Lee.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on High Velocity Radio.